Okay, so this is a right angle. How do we know it's a right angle? Because it has 90 degrees over there, right? So that block there means 90 degrees. So we're looking at Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem, what we have is we have two adjacent sides to the 90-degree triangle. And let's say I call this side 1 and I call this side 2. We call this the side that's opposite the 90-degree. We know that to be the hypotenuse. Now, Pythagoras theorem is a formula that helps to calculate the lengths of the sides of a triangle that is right angled. It has to be a right angle triangle, so it's this 90 degrees is needed, right? What I'm going to do here is write down the formula, and the formula says take side 1 and square it plus side 2, the length of it, and square it, and it will equal my hypotenuse all squared. And a typical example of this is, let's say I give you some values. Let's say side 2, side 1 is equal to something that's going to get me the hypotenuse. Okay. So let's say this length over here is 3 meters. And over here, this is 4 meters. So this is going to be 3 squared plus 4 squared. And I can see that's 9 plus 16. And I can see that is 25. And all of this is equal to hyp squared. I'm going to call it h squared. So what number times what equals 25? 5, right? So I square root both sides and I get the hypotenuse equal to 5. So this length here will be 5 meters. Let's look at another example. Let's say we've got the situation where we're given 5 meters and we want to find the missing side, side 2. All right, so let's say side 2 is missing and I want to find it. They've given me the hypotenuse to be 5 meters and they want me to find that missing side there. Let's go and substitute it into the formula. And the formula says side 1 squared plus side 2 squared equals hypotenuse squared. So remember, this is side 1 squared. So 3 squared. Side 2 squared stays there. And my hypotenuse squared is 5. Now I'm dealing with an equation. So I've got 9 plus side 2 squared equals 25. I then take the 9 to the right hand side. I change sides, change signs, and I minus it to get 16 on the right hand side. Or I can use equations, say minus 9 gets me side 2 squared equals 16. Again, we square root both sides, and this becomes 4. So side 2 will equal 4. So this length is 4 meters. And we could do the same thing and find 3 meters using Pythagoras theorem. I can simplify this entire formula into just letters and keep it as simple as possible. All right. So remember, that's what it was, side 2, side 3. And I maybe just call it A, B, and C. Okay. I'm going to call this A, B, and C. And I can see that the length of A squared, plus the length of B squared, is equal to the length of C, which is C squared. And I can rewrite this in 3 different ways. C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared, because if I square root both sides. B squared is equal to the square root of C squared minus A squared, because if I minus it and square root it, I get B. All right, and that's B, just B, not B squared. And then A is equal to the square root of C squared minus B squared. So when I take this over, it becomes minus, and then I square root it, I end up with that. When I take this over, it becomes minus, and when I square root it, it becomes B. Those are three options that you can work it out from here, but the main thing is to just remember that path over there. This is all Pythagoras theorem.